Asterisk asterisk. Have you heard a word I've said? Diane's angry voice shook Kelly out of her reverie. The beautiful ballroom disappeared, and she was in a crummy hotel room with a woman she wished she had never met. What? Diane said urgently. Tanner Kingsley said someone's going to pick us up here in half an hour. You told me that. So? He didn't ask where we were. He probably thinks we're still at your apartment. No, I told him that you and I are on the run. There was a moment of silence. Kelly's lips pursed into a long, silent They turned to look at the clock on the bedside table. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The Chinese clerk glanced up as Flint entered the lobby of the Mandarin Hotel. Can I help you? He saw Flint's smile and returned it. My wife and her friend just checked in here. My wife is a blonde. Her friend is a hot black chick. What room are they in? Room 10, but I'll have to announce you. You'll have to tell F. As he picked up the telephone, Flint raised a .45 caliber Ruger pistol equipped with a silencer and put a bullet in the clerk's forehead. Flint shoved the body behind the counter and started down the hall, the gun at his side. When he reached number 10, he stepped back, took 2 steps forward, shouldered the door open, and stepped into the room. The room was empty, but through the closed bathroom door, Flint could hear the sound of a shower running. He walked over to the bathroom door and shoved it open. The shower was turned on full force, and the closed curtains were gently swaying. Flint fired 4 shots into the curtains, waited a moment, then pulled them open. There was no one there. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. In a diner across the street, Diane and Kelly had watched Flint's SUV arrive and then had seen him go into the hotel. My God, Kelly had said, that's the man who tried to kidnap me. They waited. When Flint came out a few minutes later, his lips were smiling, but his face was a mask of fury. Kelly turned to Diane. There goes Godzilla. What's our next false move? We have to get out of here. And go where? They're going to be watching the airports, train stations, bus depots. Diane was thoughtful for a moment. I know a place where they can't touch us. Let me guess. The spaceship that brought you here. Chapter 25. All the morning newspapers were filled with the same story. A drought in Germany had caused at least 100 deaths and had wiped out millions of dollars worth of crops. Tanner buzzed for Kathy. Send this article to Senator Van Leuven, with a note, another global warming update. Sincerely. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The Wilton Hotel for Women was 35 minutes and a world away from the Mandarin. The Wilton was an attractive, modern-looking five-story hotel. An elegant, dark green canopy awning hung over the walkway leading to its entrance. In the lobby, Kelly and Diane were registering under false names. The woman behind the desk handed Kelly a key. Suite 424. Do you have luggage? No, it got lost, Diane cut in. It will be here in the morning. By the way, our husbands are picking us up in a little while. Would you send them to our room? And the clerk shook her head. I'm sorry. Men are not allowed upstairs. Oh. Diane gave Kelly a complacent smile. If you wish to meet them down here, never mind. They'll just have to suffer without us. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Suite 424 was beautifully appointed, with a living room containing a couch, chairs, tables, and an armoire, and in the bedroom 2 comfortable-looking double beds. Diane looked around. This is pleasant, isn't it? Kelly said acidly. What are we doing going for the Guinness Book of World Records, a different hotel every half hour? Do you have a better plan? This is no plan, Kelly said scornfully. This is a game of cat and mice, and we're the mice. Right. When you think about it, the head of the biggest think tank in the world is out to murder us, Diane said. Then don't think about it. Easier said than done. There are enough eggheads at KIG to make an omelet the size of Kansas. Well, we'll just have to outthink them. Kelly frowned. We need some kind of weapon. Do you know how to use a gun? No. Damn. Neither do I. It doesn't matter. We don't have one. How about karate? No, but I was on the debating team in college, Diane said dryly. Maybe I can argue them out of killing us. Sure. Diane walked over to the window and looked out at the traffic on 34th Street. Suddenly, her eyes widened and she gasped, "Oh!" Kelly rushed to her side. What is it? What did you see? Diane's throat was dry. A man walked by. He looked just like Richard. For a moment, she turned away from the window. Kelly said contemptuously, "Would you like me to send for the ghost catchers?" Diane started to retort but stopped. What's the use? I'll be rid of her soon. Kelly looked at Diane and thought, why don't you shut up and go paint something? Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Flint was speaking on his cell phone to a furious Tanner. I'm sorry, Mr. Kingsley. They weren't in their room at the Mandarin. They were gone. They must have known I was coming. Tanner was apoplectic. Those bitches want to play mind games with me? With me? I'll call you back. He slammed down the receiver. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Andrew was lying on the couch in his office, and his mind drifted to the huge stage of the Stockholm Concert Hall. The audience was cheering enthusiastically and shouting, "Andrew! Andrew!" The hall echoed with the sound of his name. He could hear the audience applauding as he walked across the stage to receive his award from King Carl XVI Gustav of Sweden. As he reached for the Nobel Prize, someone started cursing him. "Andrew, you son of a bitch, get in here." The Stockholm concert hall shimmered away and Andrew was in his office. Tanner was calling him. "He needs me," Andrew thought happily. He slowly rose and walked into his brother's office. "I'm here," Andrew said. "Yes, I see that," Tanner snapped. "Sit down." Andrew took a chair. "I have a few things to teach you, big brother. Divide and conquer." There was a note of satisfaction in Tanner's voice. "I have Diane Stevens thinking that the mafia killed her husband, and Kelly Harris is worried about a non-existent Olga." "Understand?" Andrew said vaguely. "Yes, Tanner." Tanner patted his brother on the shoulder. "You're a perfect sounding board for me, Andrew. There are things I want to talk about that I can't discuss with anyone else. But I can tell you anything, because you're too stupid to understand." He looked into Andrew's vacant eyes. "See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil." Tanner was suddenly all business. "We have a problem to solve. 2 women have disappeared. They know we're looking for them, to kill them, and they're trying to stay out of sight. Where would they go to hide, Andrew?" Andrew looked at his brother for a moment. I don't know. There are 2 ways to find out. First, we'll try the Cartesian method, logic, building our solution one step at a time. Let's reason it out." Andrew looked at him and said vacuously, "Whatever you say." Tanner began to pace. "They won't return to the Stevens apartment because that's too dangerous. We're having it watched. We know that Kelly Harris doesn't have any close friends in the States because she's lived in Paris for so long, so she wouldn't trust anyone here to protect her." He looked at his brother. "Are you following me?" Andrew blinked. Yes, Tanner." "Now, would Diane Stevens go to friends for help?" "I don't think so. It might jeopardize them. Another alternative is for them to go to the police with their story, but they know they would be laughed at. So, what could their next step be?" He closed his eyes for a few seconds, then went on. "Obviously they would have considered the airports and train stations and bus stations, but they would know we're having them watched. So where does that leave us?" Whatever you say, Tanner. It leaves us with a hotel, Andrew. They need a hotel to hide in. But what kind of hotel? These are 2 terrified women running for their lives. You see, no matter which one they choose, they'll figure we might have connections there, and they'll be exposed. They won't feel safe. Do you remember Sonia Verbrugge in Berlin? We finessed her with that instant message on her computer. She went to the Artemisia Hotel because it was for women only, so she thought she would be safe. Well, I think Madame Stevens and Harris would feel the same way. So where would that leave us?" He turned to look at his brother again. Andrew's eyes were closed. He was asleep. Furious, Tanner walked over to him and slapped him hard across his face. Andrew jerked awake. What? Pay attention when I'm talking to you, you cretin. I am sorry, Tanner. I was just Tanner turned to a computer. Now, let's see what women's hotels there are in Manhattan. Tanner did a quick search on the internet and printed out the results. He read the names aloud. The El Carmelo Residence on West 14th Street, Centro Maria Residence on West 54th Street, the Parkside Evangeline on Gramercy South, and the Wilton Hotel for Women. He looked up and smiled. That's where Cartesian logic tells us they might be, Andrew. Now let's see what technology tells us. Tanner walked over to the painting of a landscape on the wall, reached behind it, and pressed a concealed button. A section of the wall slid open, revealing a television screen with a computerized map of Manhattan. Do you remember what this is, Andrew? You used to operate this equipment. In fact, you were so good at it, I was jealous of you. It's a global positioning system. With this, we can locate anyone in the world. Remember? Andrew nodded, fighting to stay awake. When the ladies left my office, I gave each of them my business card. The cards have microdot computer chips about the size of a grain of sand embedded in them. That signal is picked up by satellite, and when the global positioning system is activated, it pinpoints their exact location. He turned to his brother. Do you understand? Andrew swallowed. Yes, Tanner. Tanner turned back to the screen. He pressed a second button. Tiny lights began to flash on the map and started downward. It slowed at a small area, then flowed ahead again. A moving pinpoint of red light swept along a street, going so slowly that the names of businesses were clearly visible. Tanner pointed. That's West 14th Street. The red light kept moving. There's the Tequila Restaurant, a pharmacy, St. Vincent's Hospital, Banana Republic, Our Lady of Guadalupe Church. The light stopped. A note of victory came into Tanner's voice. And there's the Wilton Hotel for Women. That confirms my logic. I was right, you see. Andrew licked his lips. Yes. You were right. Tanner looked at Andrew. You may go now. He picked up his cell phone and dialed. Mr. Flint, they're at the Wilton Hotel on West 34th Street. He turned off the phone. He looked up and saw Andrew standing in the doorway. What is it? Tanner asked impatiently. Will I be going to Sweden, to pick up my Nobel Prize they just gave me? No, Andrew. That was 7 years ago. Oh. Andrew turned and shuffled back to his office. Tanner thought about his own urgent trip to Sweden, 3 years earlier. ******. He had been involved in a complicated logistics mishap when his secretary's voice came over the intercom. Zurich is on the line for you, Mr. Kingsley. I'm too busy for never mind. I'll talk to them. He picked up the phone. Yes. As Tanner listened, his face became grim. He said impatiently, I see, are you sure? No, never mind. I'll handle this myself. He pressed down the intercom button. Miss Ordonez, tell the pilot to have the Challenger ready. We're flying to Zurich. There will be 2 passengers. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Madeline Smith was seated in a booth at La Rotonde, one of the finest restaurants in Zurich. She was in her early 30s, with a lovely oval face, bobbed hair, and a beautiful complexion. She was visibly pregnant. Tanner walked over to the table, and Madeline Smith stood up. Tanner Kingsley held out his hand. Please, sit down. He sat down opposite her. I am happy to meet you. She had a lilting Swiss accent. At first, when I got the call, I thought it was a joke. Why? Well, you are such an important man, and when they said you were coming to Zurich just to see me, I could not imagine. Tanner smiled. I'll tell you why I'm here. Because I've heard that you are a brilliant scientist, Madeline. May I call you Madeline? Oh, please, Mr. Kingsley. At KIG, we treasure talent. You're the kind of person who should be working for us, Madeline. How long have you been with Tokyo First Industrial? 7 years. Well, 7 is your lucky number, because I'm offering you a job at KIG at twice what you're making now. And you'll be in charge of your own department and Mr. Kingsley. She was beaming. Are you interested, Madeline? Oh, yes. I am very interested. Of course I could not start right now. Tanner's expression changed. What do you mean? Well, I am having a baby and getting married. Tanner smiled. That's no problem. We'll handle everything. Madeline Smith said, but there is another reason I cannot leave right now. I am working on a project at our laboratory and we are almost at the end of it. Madeline, I don't know what your project is and I don't care. But the fact is that the offer I just made must be accepted immediately. In fact, I was hoping to fly you and your fiancé, he smiled, or should I say your future husband, back to America with me. I could come as soon as the project is finished. 6 months, maybe a year. Tanner was silent for a moment. Are you sure there is no way you can come now? No, I am in charge of this project. It would be unfair for me to walk out. She brightened. Next year. Tanner smiled. Absolutely. I am so sorry that you had to make this journey for nothing. Tanner said warmly, it wasn't for nothing, Madeline. I got to meet you. She blushed. You are very kind. Oh, by the way, I brought you a gift. My associate will bring it to your apartment tonight at 6 o'clock. His name is Harry Flint. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The following morning, the body of Madeline Smith was found on her kitchen floor. The stove had been left on and the apartment was filled with gas. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Tanner's thoughts came back to the present. Flint never failed him. In a little while, Diane Stevens and Kelly Harris would be disposed of, and with them out of the way, the project could continue. Chapter 26. Harry Flint walked up to the reception desk of the Wilton Hotel. "Hello. Hello." The clerk noticed the smile on his face. "Can I help you?" "Yes." "My wife and her friend, an African American, checked in here a little while ago. I want to go up and surprise them." "What's their room number?" The clerk said. "I'm sorry. This is a hotel for women, sir. Men are not allowed upstairs. If you'd like to phone." Flint glanced around the lobby. Unfortunately, it was crowded. "Never mind," he said. "I'm sure they'll be down soon." Flint walked outside and dialed his cell phone. "They're upstairs in their room, Mr. Kingsley." "I can't go up." Tanner stood still a moment, concentrating. "Mr. Flint, logic tells me that they will decide to separate. I'm sending Carballo over to help you. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Upstairs in their suite, Kelly turned the radio onto a pop station, and the room was suddenly filled with loud rap music. "How can you listen to that?" Diane asked irritably. "You don't like rap music?" "That's not music. That's noise." "You don't like Eminem? And what about LL Cool J and R. Kelly and Ludacris? Is that all you listen to?" "No," Kelly said tartly. "I enjoy Berlioz's Symphonie Fantastique, Chopin's Etudes, and Handel's Almira." "I'm particularly fond of." Kelly watched Diane walk over to the radio and turn it off. "What are we going to do when we run out of hotels, Mrs. Stevens? Do you know anyone who can help us?" Diane shook her head. "Most of Richard's friends worked at KIG, and our other friends, I can't get any of them involved in this." She looked at Kelly. "What about you?" Kelly shrugged. "Mark and I lived in Paris for the past 3 years. I don't know anyone here except the people at the model agency, and I have a feeling they wouldn't be a lot of help." "Did Mark say why he was going to Washington?" "No. Neither did Richard. I have a feeling that somehow that's the key to why they were murdered." "Great. We have the key. Where's the door?" "We'll find it." Diane was thoughtful for a moment, then her face lit up. "Wait a minute. I know someone who might be able to help us." She went over to the phone. "Who are you calling?" "Richard's secretary. She'll know what's been going on." A voice at the other end of the phone said, "KIG. I'd like to speak to Betty Barker, please." Asterisk asterisk asterisk. In his office, Tanner watched the voice identification blue light flash on. He pressed a switch and heard the operator say, "Miss Barker is not at her desk right now. Can you tell me how to reach her?" "I'm sorry. If you'll give me your name and phone number, I'll have her." "Never mind." Diane replaced the receiver. The blue light went out. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Diane turned to Kelly. I have a feeling Betty Barker might be the door we're looking for. I have to find a way to get to her. She frowned. It's so strange. What is? A fortune teller predicted this. She told me she saw death around me, and Kelly exclaimed, no. And you didn't report it to the FBI and the CIA? Diane glared at her a moment. Never mind. More and more, Kelly was getting on her nerves. Let's have dinner. Kelly said, I have to make a call first. She picked up the telephone and dialed the hotel operator. I want to place a call to Paris. She gave the operator a number and waited. After a few minutes, Kelly's face brightened. Hello, Philippe. How are you? Everything's fine here. She glanced over at Diane. Yes, I should be home in a day or two. How is Angel? Oh, that's wonderful. Does she miss me? Would you put her on? Her voice changed to the tone adults use when talking to a small child. Angel, how are you, darling? It's your mama. Philippe says you miss me. I miss you, too. I'll be home soon, and I'll hold you and cuddle you, sweetheart. Diane had turned to listen, puzzled. Goodbye, baby. All right, Philippe, thanks. I'll see you soon. Au revoir. Kelly saw Diane's bewildered expression. I was talking to my dog. Right. What did he have to say? She's a bitch. That figures. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. It was time for dinner, but they were afraid to leave the safety of their room. They ordered something from room service. The talk was desultory. Diane tried to make conversation with Kelly, but it was hopeless. So, you've been living in Paris? Yes. Was Mark French? No. Were you married long? No. How did you two meet? None of your damned business. I don't really remember. I've met so many men. Diane studied Kelly. Why don't you get rid of that wall you've built around yourself? Kelly said tightly, did anyone ever tell you that walls are to keep people out? Sometimes they keep people locked in. And look, Mrs. Stevens. Mind your own business. I was doing fine until I met you. Let's drop it? Right. She's the coldest person I've ever met. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. When they had finished a silent dinner, Kelly announced, I'm going to take a shower. Diane did not respond. In the bathroom, Kelly shed her clothes, stepped into the shower, and turned it on. The warm water against her nakedness felt wonderful. She closed her eyes and let her mind drift. She could hear Sam Meadows's words. You know, Mark's madly in love with you. He wants to marry you. I hope he doesn't get hurt. and Kelly knew that Sam Meadows was right. Kelly enjoyed being with Mark. He was fun, and thoughtful, and caring, and a great friend. That was the catch. I think of him only as a friend. That's not fair to him. I must stop seeing him. Mark had called the morning after the banquet. "Hello, Kelly. What would you like to do tonight?" Mark's voice was filled with anticipation. "Dinner and the theater?" "Or there are some stores open at night, and then there's I'm sorry, Mark. I am busy tonight." There was a brief silence. "Oh. I thought you and I had well, we don't." And Kelly stood there, hating herself for what she was doing to him. "It's my fault for letting it go this far." "Oh, all right. I'll call you tomorrow. Asterisk asterisk asterisk." He called the next day. "Kelly, if I've offended you in any way," and Kelly had to steel herself to say, "I'm sorry, Mark. I've fallen in love with someone." She waited. The long silence was unbearable. "Oh." Mark's voice was shaking. "I understand. I should have realized that congratulations. I really hope you'll be happy, Kelly. Please say goodbye to Angel for me." Mark hung up. Kelly stood there, holding the dead phone in her hand, feeling miserable. He'll forget me soon, Kelly thought, and find someone who can give him the happiness he deserves. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Kelly worked every day, smiling her way across runways and hearing the applause of the crowds, but inside she was saddened. Life was not the same without her friend. She was constantly tempted to call him, but she resisted. "I can't. I've hurt him enough." Several weeks went by, and Kelly did not hear from Mark. "He's out of my life. He's probably found someone else by now. I'm glad." And she tried to mean it. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. On a Saturday afternoon, Kelly was working a fashion show in an elegant room crowded with the elite of Paris. She walked out onto the runway, and as soon as she appeared, there was the usual acclaim. Kelly was following a model wearing an afternoon suit and carrying a pair of gloves. One of the gloves slipped out of her hand and dropped onto the runway. When Kelly saw it, it was too late. She tripped on it and plummeted to the floor, falling on her face. There was a gasp from the audience. Kelly lay there, humiliated. Steeling herself not to cry, she took a deep, shuddering breath, raised herself up, and fled from the runway.